What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the next video in learning PHP object-oriented programming. My name is QDS Dani and you guys are watching my channel Wood. Alright, so in this video we're going to see the class methods. What is class methods? In other words, you can say what is getters and setters. If you guys familiar with Java or C++, you guys gonna be very familiar with getter and setters. You can know that in Java you guys gonna come here in the top menus and you can find some automatic methods that you're gonna make it, and you go there and refactor it. As soon as you press the getter and setters, and Java is gonna look for all your properties here and quickly gonna put all the whatever you have is gonna put a set name, set age, and it's gonna put a get address or set address. Then you're gonna put a get country, set add country. So in short, Java and C++ is a technique. It's called class methods that is going to automatically put for you is getter and setter. So in PHP, getter and setter is a strategy that utilizes when we need to restrict the direct access to the variable by the end users. So getter and setters are methods used to define or retrieve the values of variables. Normally we have that one's for the private ones. As we said, that the getter models is a technique that recovers the value of the object, and at the same time also keep in mind that the setter method is a technique that sets the value of the object. Alright, so as we said in the previous video, how we're going to access our private ones. If you remember, we have say for example we have here static. In previously, as we said, that we're going to use with this. Say with the static ones, it's going to behave differently to the, say for example, the public ones, and especially with the access modifiers. And we said that with the access modifiers, you cannot access the private ones or protected ones outside the class. So getter and setter works exactly the same way, and we're going to show you how. Say for example, you cannot put your private ones, then it's going to restrict the access. It works is getter and setters in short like wrappers. It wraps your code, and it makes your code very efficient, and it makes your code very secure. So no one can access the private ones or the protected ones, so you can use it later on whenever you guys want inside your program. And that's called getter and setters. Is in C++. If you guys don't know about C++, you guys can go and watch my other videos about C++, how I use the getter and setter inside the C++, because I have put something in my private members as private members. Then I access that one in my constructor, and I can use this one as setters and getters, because we can do it makes very easy for us to code, especially in object-oriented programming. Alright, so for example here we have a class social. If you guys wanna say for example, you guys gonna companies are very big, like a massive, like a RTA or the departments of the transport that deals with the car, and they instruct you to put some for example class for their vehicle. Say for example, you can put a class vehicle, and keep in mind class vehicles have a lot of subclasses. Say for example, it has trucks, it has vans, it has the vehicles that carry goods, it has a vehicle that carry passengers, it has a vehicle that carry like a petrol, it has a vehicles that carry logs for industries. So there are different types of the vehicles. Say for example, there are different types of classes. Say for example, even inside the truck there are different types. So there are trucks with 6 tires, there are trucks with for example 8 tires, there are trucks with 10 tires, they classify this as heavy rigid, and there are trucks with 14 tires, and there are trucks with 18 tires, and some of the trucks are with say for example 30 tires or 25 or 26 tires. So and they classify that as a B double because they carry 2. This one's with 1 trailer, this one's with 2 trailer. There are different types of trucks you can classify. Even inside the car, they have a sedan, they have a hatchback, family car, they have a wagon, they have for example a lot of cars. So you can classify according to your vehicle class. So you create one vehicle class, you put all your getter and setter inside this class, because the class methods, and you can wrap it all your getter and setters, all your methods, and you can create one super class, one beautiful class that can have all the properties inside it. Even if you, when you go, for example, class, say for example in pet company, and the pet company instructs you to create a class, one class with a getter and setter, for example, for their pets. And some of the pets you want to put as private, you don't want to show the name, and some of them, for example, you can put a public. So when we put a public name, say now, then after that, what you guys need? You guys need some sort of methods to set the objects. For example, you for the name. All right, so we're gonna come and we put a function. We put a set name, for example. Or you can put a set pet name, but normally programmers, if you have a, for example, public name, you put a set name, so the PHP understand that one. If you put a age, for example, you put a set age. If you put an address, you put a set address. So the PHP knows straight away when the PHP encountered this set inside your method with your method, then this particularly assumes that it's a wrapper. It's a class method. So as soon as the PHP comes in, they're gonna look at this set name. We're gonna, when you come here and say function, and we put a get name. So the PHP comes into action and assume that this is a wrapper. And keep in mind that the get and setter are the two most common ways of fetching and assigning the data to our properties. And both of these methods, as we simply return and assign data from and to the member variables. Keep in mind we need to put a set and we need to put a get. So the set name ones is very easy. You can use this because we are setting name, and with the get names we use return. We can use return. Always you use with the get name and set name, but it's reading the other way around. They put a getters and setters. So but they actually, it's you guys needs to put a set, or then you guys needs to get a get. But with this get, it's gonna come here when you guys instantiate this one at the bottom. So when you kind of create your object, for example, object, and when you instantiate that one here, and then you put a get name, say straight away. How easy is that? Whatever name you put it here in your return, then you can get it here. So very easy. We need to put a, say for example, name, and just like our constructor, and we're gonna come here and we put a this, then we put a name and we put assign the name, just exactly like our constructor. If you look in here, just like our constructor here, if you look in here, we put a name and we put this name. That's exactly what we do. We just put a name, whatever properties you have, and this name, your name equal to name. So whatever but this makes it a lot easier, so I don't want to kind of confuse you with your name. And we're going to assign this one. As long as you assign this parameter here, you're all good to go. So now we're going to come on get name. So what we're going to do, get name, and we're going to assign this name. For example, you can put a nice message. Say for example, we put a return, and we put a this, and we put a name. Okay, now we put our wrappers is complete. Looking here, now we have effectively secured our code, and all at the same time, for example, if it's a public or private, we're going to prevent the user or other programs to access this one. Okay, so now we're going to create, say for example, pet object. Our we can put any other object, or you can put a pet obj, and now we're going to put a new, and we put a pets. Alright, so now we can set the name. For example, we didn't set any name here because we don't have any name, for example, for any of our pets. So for example, now we're going to come here and we put a pet object obj, and we put a set name. Set name, whatever the name you guys want to assign. Say for example, we can put a fluffy. And now we're gonna come in, says for example we're gonna create a variable of name. We put a pet obj, object of the pet, and we put a get name. So now our everything is done, and we can put an echo our variable, which is the name. How easy is this? So now effectively we have created engine for our program. So for example we have instantiated this one, we put our object, we access the set name, this guy here, this guy is on top, and we have assigned Fluffy to this name, and we create another variable here. You can create anything else if you like, and we have put a get name because we have to return this name. So here we assign, and here we get it because we are returning it. And keep in mind, in the functions, if you guys know, when we return something, it means return a value here. So we're returning the value, and that's the value is this guy is here, the name. Alright, so we're gonna go and we're gonna see our class methods. We're gonna refresh, and we see the class methods, and you can see that the Fluffy. You can create a nice message. For example, here instead of get name, say for example my pet, say for example you can put a nice message, my pet name is, and we can see that my pet name is Fluffy. How cool is this? Alright, so what happens instead of going through methods, what happens if you guys wanna directly access your say properties, say this one? What happens even though now we have a get and setters here in place, which if you look in here, we are not accessing our properties directly, because this one's going to prevent you from access your properties, especially if your properties are private. We cannot access our properties straight away with the getters and setters. Say if you put a private, for example this one, you can this method is going to have access to you, this one, but you cannot access it from outside the class. As previously, if you guys look in here, we can we are accessing directly our say for example this username or the street address, or this is because they are sitting in the profile here. We can easily access these ones, but get and setter is going to prevent you from doing this. Say for example, if you're going to put private, and we're going to come and say for example this is going to be pet obj is going to directly access this name. So we're gonna put a comment, and we're gonna put a comment here as well. Now we are trying to now directly access this private here, which is our property, and we have a name here and we have a name here. So to see what happens with our name, we're gonna come and we're gonna try, and you're gonna see they cannot access private property. It means we're gonna cannot access the private property. But if you look in here, we're gonna remove this. So if we remove this, and we're gonna put this one as a private, to see, it means all okay, because here the PHP is quite okay with this one. You can access this one no problem with getter and setter, because they are the safe way. This is the safest way, but you cannot access this one directly. That's what the class methods are, because these methods are now with the class. So this is like acting as a wrapper around the objects. So that's what we call it in setters and getters, our getter and setter, whatever we can say. Some people, they say setters, getters. Some folks they say getter and setter, but I'll call it setter and getter from now on. So that's how the class methods are in PHP, and that's how we access our objects, and that's how we put all our and that's how we set the name for our properties, and that's how we return all the name. You can put a nice message here from our properties. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe Wood. If you guys have any question or comment, leave it in comment box. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video, and bye.